Hello and a very warm welcome back to Perth South Model Railway, and apologies for the very long period of time since the last video. And I'd like to say thanks to those who inquired if everything was okay with me and the layout. I have to tell you, the truth is I was just busy with other things, both railway and non-railway. On the railway side, I've been busy at our Perth Model Railway Club helping build a new layout, and with our club being part of the wider model engineering community at SMET, or the Scottish Model Engineering Trust, I've been tempted into the world of live steam, and I'm now the proud owner of a 7¼ inch gauge live steam homeside locomotive. It's great fun, but a very different experience from operating 00 gauge locomotives. However, I have been doing work in the layout over the past months. Some has just not been very interesting or worth doing a film about. I have been adjusting track here and there to improve running, and I've had a couple of trouble spots in the hidden tracks which have been causing occasional derailments, and that required lifting off some of the upper section level boards to get to the problem areas below. And the upper boards were designed to do this, but nevertheless it is quite a bit of work. And the project involved in the title of this video, Trap Points and Check Rails, involved a lot of time-consuming and detailed work, which will become apparent later. So a word about the prototype first. The Perth resignalling scheme of 1962 included these double-acting or straddle catch points at a few locations, including either end of the centre siding between the Dundee platforms. Now, these were a prominent feature, and I was keen to include these, albeit in a non-operational form. So I filed down some Code 75 rails and glued them to the outside of the existing track to look like the stock rails of the real catch points. The other things notable in the Dundee platforms were the check rails required due to the tight curve. There is photographic evidence of the check rails in Platform 1 and the centre siding during the 1960s, but it's not clear if they ever existed in Platform 2, which is the outer of the three tracks. Now, in BR days, it was a requirement for all curves on passenger lines of 10 chains, that's 220 yards radius or 200 metres, or less, to have check rails fitted. Some curves greater than 10 chains had check rails for locally specific reasons to assist in the prevention of track wear. The curves at Perth are borderline 10 chains radius, and it may be that they don't actually require or didn't require check rails, and certainly the modern concrete tracks at Perth have never had check rails in all the years I've lived in Perth. Anyway, I decided to install check rails in all three of the tracks, my thinking being that it would look odd to have check rails in only 2 out of the 3 tracks. The check rails were created by gluing Code 75 rail tight against the plastic base plates of the existing track. However, and bear in mind this photograph is of the finished article, to improve the look of the check rails, I wanted to have rail chairs showing in the inside face, as they're shown here. To achieve this, I used plastic rail chairs from C&L Fine Scale. I had to cut these in two as I only needed 1/2. And so I cut some 630 rail chairs. And then, one by one, I had to glue them in place. And this took a long time as the chairs are so tiny and fiddly. track was then sprayed with Rail Match sleeper grime. Now this photo was actually taken immediately before I did the painting. And I made sure that the check rail was fully painted, as this would always in real life be covered in rust and grime. The other thing that I wanted to add to the trap points was dummy point motors, representing the machines as used at Perth. Now the Perth signalling scheme, like many major stations of the time, used electro-pneumatic point motors powered by a system of compressed air. I guess you could call these the solenoid point motors of the real railway, as they snap the blades across quickly, and in busy or major stations with lots of points, that speed was seen as an advantage. DCC Concepts produce a dummy version of the Westinghouse EP point machines, and I've decided to use these. However, I realised after I'd got them that the machines in Perth are a different shape. They were installed at the time by a company called SGE Signals, which was a combine of Siemens and General Electric. Nevertheless, I've decided to use the DCC Concept ones as I haven't been able to find anything better. I guess if I was into 3D printing, I would have produced something closer in looks to the original machines at Perth. The dummy point machines come in a black plastic, so I gave them a spray of grey primer, which I think is close to the colour of the originals. The point motors in real life are supported on extended timbers, and so I fitted some sleeper extensions to the various points being fitted with these motors. The remaining signals, including the ground signals, have been added to all the platforms, and the final touch was to ballast the track and add some weathering. Now I'll cover the ballasting in my next video because I want to leave some time now for a bit of a running session. I'm sorry if some of the footage is a bit dark or poor quality, but I hope to improve things in the coming months with better lighting and improved camera equipment. So in the meantime, thanks for watching, enjoy the running session, and I'll hope to see you next time. Bye for now.